Not a very popular message at all. But the science behind it tells you no lie. They'll deny it. They'll say it doesn't exist. But guess what? It's proven. The rib bone regenerates.
Okay.
Body parts.
We're on YouTube now.
Hello, YouTube. I hope you hear me. I've been going on with a message on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure I've probably been blocked. I just had somebody send me a message. Said your comment section is blocked. They wonder why they couldn't get to me.
Personal message.
A personal message. Let me know. Social media is trying to stop me. But let me tell you, social media, there is a God who can shut it off like that and turn it on, and you'll never know it. Did you feel the blink? You see, there is one thing God doesn't stop, it's time. But let's remember time. He owns it. If he owns it, he controls it. So if I say, you never knew you stopped for a second between the snaps, you would never know how long it was, and you wouldn't know how messed up it was. When you're playing with God, you remember what you're playing with. So you might not think my book is going to number one, because promise you right now, I have huge companies trying to stop my book. Right now. Big name companies. They are already trying to recopy my book. Remember this. I'm not kidding you. They don't want me in there because they'll have to hand me some money. They'll have to hand me a check. Do you like that? Do you want to know what your future looks like, your children's futures looks like? Well, why don't you go watch? It's all over TV. They done took it from you.
So even Donald Trump said the game is rigged.
Donald Trump is just a piece of rich trash that he'll even say so himself. I mean, look what he just come out and admitted to. Why would you admit to something like that, knowing that's what everybody wants to hear? No, he doesn't want to be president again, let's face it. He's doing it because he's being pushed somewhere. I mean, it's very relevant. You don't come out and say something like that and expect to be president again. Do you? No, he's being pushed. He probably, to get his next check, he'll probably have to say whatever somebody tells him. Do what you got to do. But America, all these other countries, you're being fooled. You take it from yourself and give it to somebody. Your grandchildren will never have nothing. Because you allowed this to happen. Don't blame me. You see it coming like I do. You close off the world. Mother Earth is fixing to open up again. It's not just biblical, my friends. It must happen. When I preach Woodworm, when I seen that canal down through Washington that is in the ancient apocalypse, I want to remind people what they're looking at. That is not a comet. Look at it again. It's something, if it's a comet, it will bounce off the earth. This came through like a hurricane, sideways. Go look at it again, all of you. You may have found the actual start of the Ice Age. But I'll never be there because I'm too stupid and ignorant, they say. I'm not smart enough, they say. And that's fine, because a prophet of God doesn't care one way or another. What he cares about is what God's doing. It's not a popular message. I promise you, ain't a preacher one getting up here preaching this message. I'll tell you how many will preach against me to come the next time. Every one of them. Do you know why? Because this ain't a popular message for nobody. I told you what was happening. I even come out and demanded to let me have what's mine. And you said no. What happens next? What did Moses tell Pharaoh? We shall be free. We're going to be free. And if you don't like it, you know what's coming next. All the signs is coming. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cause no one fear. I'm telling you what's fixing to give. You push God into a corner, and that dog is coming out of that corner. God is coming out of that corner. You think he ain't. You've pushed on him so long, he doesn't care no more. That's not on me. All the preachers and everything feel this disconnect, like God has moved somehow. Don't blame me. I don't have nothing to do with it. I'm just telling you. I'm relaying a message you're not listening to. All of you have bowed down and cowered. Or this would not be happening. Do you read Revelations anymore? Any of you? You like making the movies of stupid shit about it. But do you really listen? You're not sharing anymore. You're not caring anymore. Your world is so wrapped up in everything you think it should be. You don't even think before you do. You just go with it. And it's okay, because they'll give you $5 come tomorrow on your food stamp cards. Everyone's got one. Everyone. I'm not downplaying it. Is that sharing the wealth? Everybody get a $5 bill for the week? Because that's what it feels like now, isn't it? Tell me it's not. The prices have gone out of the damn roof, people. And they give you $5 extra. Your jobs went up. What was it? Minimum wage went up to almost $20 an hour. Do you know how many times the price changes went up on every store so much? We can't even keep up. You go in for one freaking item now, it's over $20, and it used to be just $3. So you lost again. You lost again. You lost again, and again, and again. A writer can't even get out his work because they're sitting there constantly going, well, I'm in the book club now. I'm Mr. Happy. I'm Mr. Bookman. No, you're not. You can't even get Nobel Peace Prizes. And you're one of the greatest writers in the world. But you won't stand up. You bow down. You keep staying that way. I don't. Everybody who comes near me, they know you know I will fight. I don't want to. But I got to get on Facebook and everywhere else and say, look, we got to do something, people. If you don't change the programs, the algorithms, there's one set before the next one, before the next one, before the next one. The doors are locked before you even get in. But they will sit there and preach to you how to make money. It's not there. They're lying to you. I have called the top ones. I've asked for the help. It's not there. They don't know where it's at. It's coming from somebody who don't even have anything to do with our country. They don't even love our country, and it's coming from here. Well, come on. We're made in China. Everything we got here is made in China. Where's America's? We don't have it. It's not ours. It's China's. If they want all their stuff, they come back right now. You don't even have a country. But yet you're going to get mad at me for telling you the truth. Go ahead. Go ahead and be mad at me. I don't care.
The only ones that really appreciate of what we have over here is the ones that got out of the tyranny like 60 and 80 years ago.
They're in it now.
Well, I'm saying they're
back
so,
in it.
I'm saying that they have done gotten old and passed away, and their kids are here, and their kids are like, oh, it's so horrible over here.
Don't sit here and tell me there's some system. It's not there, people. They're still yanking your chains. But you know what? I'm still here. I'm still pushing until they shut me off. That's all I can say.
There's also this. I mean,
What happened to my coffee?
Name
Please.
one other country in the entire world where people try to fight to get over the border.
Bloodstone Megaverse. I'm not showing you the other side of it because it's propaganda. You want me to show the other side? Send me a fucking check. Thank you.
I need to reach over and get my coffee cup.
I told you start paying me. Because guess what? I'm just praying what God's going to do next. Because God's been showing me, honeys, darlings, as He showed you. Ain't no other preacher got up here saying you what God has showed is fixing to happen next. I've been saying it since you met me, since you seen me, since you've heard me. I've been telling you from day one to right now what God has in store for what He's fixing to do next. Y'all can go behind your shadows. You can go inside your mountains. You can run and hide all you want. But what is fixing to happen next, I have nothing to do with. I'm just a messenger. Don't come after me. Go talk to your master, God. Whoever your God is. Because there's nothing He's going to do other than straighten this world back up. And you're invited because you won't wake up. You dished your prophets till there's nothing left. You made fun of your God until there's nothing left. You have treated Jesus Christ on tables on top of tables with your coins and your business until you accuse me. And you, honestly, every time I go into a church anymore, they're preaching at the poor people, letting you know the devil's in the house and he knows the Bible better than everyone, and he stands up on his altar and he's got his little tie on and necktie and he'll cast the demons out around you. Every preacher I've heard saying the same message over and over again. If you don't get in that room, if you don't get in that thing, if you don't do as they say, you're going to hell. And Jesus said, this is not the way I came and preached 2,000 years ago. I sent 12 of you out, and all of you doing the same damn thing. You ain't fighting for your love of God. You ain't fighting for your Jesus Christ. You ain't standing up. You look pretty in your little suits. That's the truth. But you could curse me with your mouth. But how about I do it another way? When I pray day and night, God, you deliver your news as you see fit. Nobody can stop you. And He is. Oh, we see it in the signs, don't we? That's why everyone has this little inkling in the back of their mind that says something is fixing to hit so hard and devastating, because God is going to rear Himself for once. And we just hope we're the last civilization to remember it. So the next time you decide to turn your boys into girls and girls into boys and make it all about these lovers and lovers and lovers, God doesn't care about everything else. He cares about keeping the earth straight because Mother Earth demands it. You're never going to put an egg in a man. You're never going to do it. You ain't got it. Sunshine, you ain't going to have it. It's a beautiful picture, Arnold Schwarzenegger. But you ain't going to ever pull it off, science. You can't. You know you can't. But you're going to make people believe it. Just like going to the moon, Mr. Who is he? What's his name? Elon Musk. You didn't do it. Nobody went to the moon. Don't lie to us no more. We're tired of it. You can't get to the moon without oxygen. And there's no oxygen. Ain't that right? Oh, you can put it in a tank. Okay, so you put it in a tank with some fire. As soon as you get outside orbit, because there's no oxygen, what does it do? Kaboom! There's no ship. Don't say here.
Hold up, wait. Hold up. I got a good one about that. Now, they say they destroyed the technology from 69 that allowed them to get there in the first place. And now they have to remake it. Oh, but now they have to worry about the Van Allen radiation belt. Back in 69...
We had to worry about the ozone in the 80s.
No, hold on. In 69, they didn't have any protection against Van Allen radiation belt.
This is an adult program. Put your kids to bed. You might have went to bed. Most of the adults now, they pretty much act like little children. Be honest with you. They're like, oh my God, he said a cuss word up here. But yet in the middle of somewhere else, they say these same words. But yet I got a TV and said the same words. I'm sorry. They act like children. I had a woman get mad at me the other day because I goofed up and said a little dirty word. And she got up there and let me know she goes to church and everything else, and I'm a sorry SOB because guess what? I got her to cussing. I did not get her to cussing. I'm sorry. I didn't get her to cursing. I didn't get nobody to cursing. I hurt my finger. I cut it. So I said a bad word. I'm sorry. I mean, would you like to see my cut?
You should hear him stub his toe at night.
Look, I did. See, I ripped it wide open. Did I go crying about it? No. I wrapped it up and went back to work. I didn't go see a doctor. It's not infected, and I haven't put nothing on it. I haven't done a thing to that finger. And look at it. What does that tell you? Something's wrong. You know how many people say, oh man, you gotta go put stuff on it. It's gonna get infected. It's gonna run off. It's coming off. Oh my God. You better get to a doctor. I need a hospital. No, I don't need no hospital. I need a doctor. Trust me. I put a little Band-Aid on it, went back to work like a human being should.
Well, these days when a kid sneezes, school is shut down.
It's ridiculous. It's out of control. I agree. God, just finish it off. Amen. That's all we need to say. Because guess what? Until civilization learns to share again, and that's what it'll take, a new lost civilization, yeah, I agree. Because they don't know how to share, because they don't care. It's all about their numbers. It is. It's a numbers game. It really is. And the smart ones, they sat back, laughing, kicking up. Enjoy your wine while you can, because it's over. Enjoy your dinner, because it's about the last one left in this world. Have a nice day, is how I put it. And oh man, everybody gonna laugh and have a good time. This self-proclaimed prophet, I never said I was self-proclaimed. Do not use them words. If you use any words at all, it's the same ones I've been preaching since the beginning. I said this thing. In a dream, God called me his personal anointed prophet. He dipped me in olive oil. I could taste in a dream. To this day, I used to never like olive oil. I can drink it from a bottle. Ever since that dream. So make sure you use them words, not self-proclaimed. I've never claimed to be. I've always told you what I dream. That is his sign. That is his work. He didn't need me under some preacher to anoint me and call me service. He said, go do these things in my name. You'll cast out demons. Hey, look, Revelation says, cast out demons in my name. Depart from me because I never knew you. God knows you. God knows you. How can he depart from you? He can't forget you. You're part of him. So we got to look at the conundrum of the sentence. See, preachers don't preach that. How can God forget you? Impossible is the word. So what is it lacking to that sentence? There's something lacking to the understanding. So we dig in this brain to figure out what it is. Let's see here. God can't forget us. It's just like the spirits in the ground. I went and baptized. An old cemetery, long gone and forgotten, people. Been taken down, destroyed. People pillaged their graves for gold. I got footage. I went in,
Not of the pillaging.
Not of the pillaging. I got footage of where the place was.
The pillaging happened
You
before
can see the
video
outline.
recording capabilities.
You can see the outline when you're looking at it. And I'll show it eventually. Probably not tonight because I'm really tired. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I went up there not to seek glory for myself. I don't do this for glory. Spookmasters has nothing to do with glory. If it was, it'd be another tap show. It's not. It is a show about blessing places that's been forgotten. To calm the spirit down that is rising up. Trust me, have you ever fought the dead? Have you ever fought the invisible? There are people who have.
Resident Evil?
They've bitten them. Power is down to 3%.
Uh-oh. Just leave it. I got it.
We're fixing to get this on. People have woke up from things biting them invisibly. That's very true. Go look it up. That's because something has wakened the dead. And when you wake the dead, that means the dead's waking up again. The tolerance is very low because we care no longer about our past that we're supposed to learn from and grow up. So we're damned to repeat it again. Isn't that right? Another civilization fixed to get lost because of the greed. Invisible forces coming to work. That's very biblical. So if God can't forget us, something's wrong. It becomes a conundrum. It becomes, what does it become? Spirits are rising up. Preachers today can't even cast a demon out of someone. They don't even know how. So why would God even bother saying you cast out demons in my name and I don't know you? Because something's wrong. Something ain't right about it. That's why I do what I do. So I can settle them spirits down. One of the most spookiest places in the world is right here. All around us. And it's happening more and more frequently. People are waking up in their homes. The things just ain't right anymore. Things are off in everybody's life. Because we keep allowing these, whoever they are, at top to tell us what is right and wrong, not God. We're losing it. How do we get it back? Well, first of all, we do what Jonas was supposed to do. Instead of going to the belly of a fish, he should have been in the city of Nineveh preaching to begin with. But I'm not that prophet like Jonas. You see, Jonas got mad because the people repented. He still wanted to see what was it called? Woodworm. He knew what woodworm was. A prophet knows what it is. And if you're a prophet and you say you don't know what woodworm is, you're not. If you say God did not show you that in a dream, you're not a prophet. You could say it all day long, twice on Sunday, and God still say, depart from me, because I never knew you. You see, that's the difference between prophets, preachers, and everyone else. God knows his prophets, and he sends that message at the top of his list, and they don't bow down. If you call yourself a prophet, you already know what I'm telling you is true. He doesn't send the messages. Don't sit here and tell me you don't know. I don't want to hear it. That's between you and your God. Or you listen to a God who doesn't have no control over anything. I ain't trying to be mean about it. I'm trying to tell you how it works. We wonder where the money's going. There's no money. We was talking today about money looking like Monopoly. I mean, I'd rather go open up a box and play the game. Isn't that what's happening? It's turned into a video game. I'm sitting here between different TV screens going back and forth to let you know. Hey, the world's going to hell, and I'm just playing along like everyone else. No, I'm not. I'm praying. I'm praying. Let me ask you this question. You sent so many billions to Elon Musk in his space shuttle ride. Did you stay in outer space? Can you live there? That's why I said they haven't gone to the moon, people. Since the 1960s, we haven't even been able to put a plant on the moon. Give me a break. You can put a flag up there that doesn't even, that loves to flap in the wind, and they don't even have wind on the moon.
Well, they said the flapping. They said there was some kind of flag that they did, and it was motorized.
I'm just saying this.
I'm like, yeah, whatever. Nobody ever said anything about motorized back in the day.
Before I even thought of the theory, they didn't go to the moon. God had done told me in my head, they've never been to the moon. They can't get off the planet. Hell, how can you get off a planet you can't even get off of? Because you won't even think, how do we all survive together?
Hey.
The next catastrophic storm coming.
Here's a good one.
What's
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Everybody knows him as being a big time, let's travel space and all that. One time he had a conniption fit, told everybody,
Cigarettes. This is a adult show. Cigarette. This is mine. You don't like it, you don't want to see it, turn me off. But I'm going to ask you to stay, regardless. This is my time to enjoy.
Yeah, you can't smell the smoke through the camera.
It's not biblical. It's not in there. Don't even tempt me with that. You ask me about the temple being clean and holy. God sees me as clean and holy as to his design. And he doesn't curse me for it. Actually, if anything, I'd still run 10 miles, still talk to you like this, smoke a cigarette all at the same time. That's just to show you that's God's way. He don't have to deal with cigarettes.
Yeah.
He does it as he please.
Yeah, I know. I followed him on a bicycle.
I got a little cough every once in a while. Thank you.
But
Bill, thank you.
Bill Nye the Science Guy, big time in space travel. He wants to travel the universe, all that
Propaganda.
blah
You
blah
want me to
crap.
show it? You'll pay me for it.
You ready? Take it.
Go on, Nate. I'm sorry.
Bill Nye the Science Guy had some kind of breakdown one day. Said the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There is nothing outside of the Earth. Bill Nye the Science Guy said that.
Well,
After being well known for wanting to go in space.
I'm fixing to give you the idea you're going to want to pay for with everything you got. It'll be every penny you have and then some. It'll be so much sevenfold, even the biggest companies in the world will try to figure out exactly what I know. Because guess what? I know it. They don't. But let me tell you, since you're worried about me taking a penny from you, I'm not. I'm not going to take one penny from you for the knowledge I'm fixing to relay to you. I know how to survive the last civilization. It's all right there. I haven't wrote it down, but it's all right there. Now you say that's crazy, that's garbage. Well, guess what? They just said that to Noah too. Noah put an ark up. Lost civilizations put tunnels under the ground to get away from this catastrophic fate. Revelations is not a book of the end of times. It is a beginning.
I'd love to get the video of the.
And that's what every preacher tells. Go ahead.
I'd love to get the video of when they found Noah's Ark and be able to repost it.
I would. I don't need to see it. And I'll tell you what. God says don't pay attention. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about Noah's Ark. There won't be another one. He'll just wipe it clean and start again. The Bible, it started. Do you want to know when the Bible starts? It is not the end of the beginning, by the way, people. Every lost civilization starts anew. The book we're in is somewhere around the third book that has been written. You say, oh, no. Every civilization that come before us had a civilization and a periodic table that almost matches the one we got today. You see, that's where the archaeologists argue with the people who are trying to get this knowledge out there. This didn't happen, this didn't happen, this didn't happen, because they control it. They lie to you about dinosaur bones. They ain't even dinosaur bones.
No, they're just clay replicas.
Clay replicas. But hey, that's what the news tells us. Which one is it? Is it real or is it fake? The archaeologist tells you it's fake. So people believe that because that's what they've been taught for the last 100 years.
What? The archaeologists tell you it's fake?
Don't they?
No,
Don't they tell you that?
Archaeologists.
They tell us
Now,
these
well,
fake tickers.
I don't know, dinosaur searching people, whatever the crap they call it.
This is my freedom of speech. You can't take it from me unless you pull the plug.
The people
Sorry,
that
people.
the people that hunt for dinosaur bones, they try to tell people it's real.
Exactly. I'm not saying dinosaur bones ain't real. I ain't saying the dinosaurs ain't real.
No, they have found large bones.
Very
but
rare, very much
never,
so.
ever have found a whole dinosaur. Just large bones.
We've proven there was giants. There are temples out there that are pretty big to be giant size.
Goliath was a giant.
Goliath was a giant. But then again, I don't believe the giants were so tall and huge, they laid these huge stones up in your pyramids and stuff. I don't believe that. What I do believe is the way they built them was different from the way we build things today. Same thing. As I've said, most of the time, when people died, they became the building and the structure. There are ways to do bone and bone marrow. It's out there. The knowledge is out there. The people became what they were building. Bloodstones. The same thing. that I'm talking
Basically,
about. Humans are bloodstones.
basically put in an oven and dehydrated and then turned to powder to add to the mix.
Exactly. Bloodstones means humans, by the way, in Earth. Because we are walking, talking, eating, sleeping, breathing stones. I'm sorry if that makes people mad. When people hear Bloodstone Megaverse, there's a reason I call it that. So when you sit here and you tell me you're making a bunch of money off the internet, I don't believe you. Show me the proof. It's just not there.
Oh, they made the money somewhere. I don't believe it was from YouTube though.
No, they've got another system.
They were hand selected.
Hand selected. Well, hand select me, okay? Because I appreciate the money too. I'd like my yacht like everybody else, especially with the knowledge I got. But you can't get it unless you say, "Well, that's not fair, preacher." Well, preachers the Sunday will do the same way. They're robbing from God right now, is what they'll preach to you. Now, I'll take the money for God's work. I'll build another ark if I got to. You see what I'm talking about now. You see where everybody else is worried about me getting a penny. They tell me to go build this ark that's not there. I can't build you something if I ain't got it. And ain't nobody giving it to me, so I ain't worried about it either. I have done all I can do. I've prayed all I can pray. All I can do is give you the message he gave me. There it is. Everybody knows that message. That's how important it is to God now. When Abraham in the Bible said, "God, if I name one, just one, will you save him?" In Sodom and Gomorrah. He saved one. Because the other ones didn't count. Just one, the head, counted. For a lot of people, they don't understand that story. Because most people want to turn around and go back into Sodom and Gomorrah and live like salt. But they want to be part of that. They think it's incredible. But if fire was pouring out on top of you out of a volcano, or wherever it come from, how beautiful is it then when you've lost your family, you've lost your future, you've lost your grandkids, you won't have kids? Oh, God will take who he wants and put in the bottoms of earth like he showed us. He had them build the catacombs. Because our civilization should be building a lot more if we're all going to survive. But we want to keep changing it. We go so far, law after law, greed after greed. We take, until there's nothing left. Until the rebuild. There's only so far you can build a tree when the roots are dead. The roots are gone, people. There's no more basis left. The tree is going to tumble. It's going to break. And when it does, when Mother Earth has had enough of the garbage that we call moral society today, just let it go. How much longer does it take? I can't tell you that. I haven't put that in the timetable. I have no clue. I can't tell you that time. I just know the Lord tells me where to be, when to be there, and I do it. When he says move, I've told every preacher I've ever known, every person I've ever been, when God says move, I move. I move. I've had people who knew I was gifted try to get me right underneath their wing, tell me and indoctrinate me their way. And I said no. I knew better. There are people who tell you I was demonically possessed. But I want to explain something to you. As I've said, I know what happened now. I couldn't tell you back then because God was working with me. The Lord laid a power on me I had never felt before. I hit the floor. I seen the demons and I seen the angels and everything else. When I get up out of the floor, my mind is so messed up. It took weeks to straighten out. It took months to figure it out and years to finally straighten it out. Right up here. But I kept pushing. I kept understanding. I kept looking. I kept studying. Until today. Bloodstone Megaverse has a purpose that's going to go into the next civilization. That's the only thing that's going to go into the next future for a reason. You see, right now, everybody thinks movies will always be here. Video will always be here. No, it won't. No, it won't. You see, those advanced civilizations before us, they're gone. They're gone. You think this is going to stay forever? Oh no, you're wrong.
Barely a single trace of them.
Only ideals of it. Pieces and fragments.
The only way they could let people know centuries ahead in the future that they were there was by carving in stone.
I love you all. I know all them watching tonight. I know all them who are listening. The only thing that's going to help you is start praying to God and telling your family to straighten up. Straighten up. Repent yourselves. You can't go to a preacher to print. He probably ain't even listen to God. He probably just turned on the radio and said, just go have a nice day. Like so many have done me the same way. I get on here live doing it, and they get mad at me. I didn't do it. I mean, I don't know how many people I've known who told me not to be in the computer world, yet they were doing it. And they're saying, well, don't come at me. Well, I went live. You see, I'm not TV, I'm live. I do it live, right before your eyes. I go to these places and bless them. I'm not looking for a spook, but for most people, it's a spooky ideal. I go to bless them, so the spirits will go to rest, to calm down what's coming. Is lifting higher. I don't have the power to go everywhere and do it as a prophet would do it. So I tell the other prophets what they need to be listening to. You need to be going and blessing these places. You need to be preparing what God told you to prepare. Because if He's not telling you to prepare, you're definitely not doing what He told you to. It doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter where you're going. It matters where the people's going. Is that not what Jesus told us to do? Don't worry about what they believe. Save them. Tell them where to go. Tell them what to do. It's coming. I told you. Your little hidey holes underneath your houses in the ground will not hide you from the snow rain, from the fire that they call woodworm. Everybody's made and laughed at what I've been saying, but a few. That's when I know this time we're living in is very scary. Just like Noah, they laughed him out of it. Very true. They laughed at Noah until Noah got in that boat, because God kept showing them the next step. That's when they all started crying and screaming, let us in. Let us in. And he said, I can't. The door, God sealed shut. Takes you back to a part of the Bible where the 10 virgins are ready for Jesus. Ever read that story? Because none of them was prepared. If you read what that says, that parable, you realize none of them was ready and none of them knew His voice. Every door was shut on all 10 of them. Because, what does Jesus tell you? You know His voice. You know when He sends you, who He sends you for a reason to pay attention for that reason. As I've told you, it's coming. Nothing I can do about it. But there is one thing that you can do about it. Look inside your life. Look inside your home. If you don't find nothing evil, you're not, then that's great. That's wonderful. I appreciate the thoughts But why are you fighting something evil in your home? Okay, why does your family not care anymore? They're always running. Something's got them running. Why is your children turning away from creation? You see, that's what Mother Earth hates the most. Her babies turning from creation. They've gone everywhere else. Their advanced technology has sent them to the moon. And she's about to show you, ain't nobody in the moon. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't want to be in outer space. Would worm hit? Because where are you going to go? What if the sun turns off? Like that. Because God can do that. God just has to snap his fingers and it's all gone. He don't have to deal with it, people. I'm telling you, that's the biggest secret to God. He doesn't have to deal with it. He just starts over anew. And then the next book comes out. And then the next Bible comes out. You see, Jesus just ain't Jesus. There's too many times the same figure of Christ showed up malachistically throughout time, several times. See, God doesn't play our way. He doesn't think like us. He created us to think like a child. Act like we're grown up. We get lost in this idea we're adults. Also, we can have sex when we're over a certain age, or we can do this over a certain age. I'll get piercings, I'll get tattoos, I'll do whatever I feel like. Well, go ahead, because guess what? Mother Earth says go ahead, because there's only so long she's going to put up with you. You wonder why global warming is such a big thing and you're locked in your head, because that's another sign God's telling you, you better wake up. You don't have to like me. You don't have to watch my show. You don't have to hear from me. And that's fine. I'll walk around and never say a word. But you do know it's coming, whether I say a word or not. You do know this. These big companies, they play like they've got control over everything. And they can't even change the weather unless they get it on a computer. They can't change the clouds. That's one big joke. God sends it all to let you and me and everyone be reminded of exactly how powerful He is. He doesn't need you. He don't care if an alien flies around in a spaceship and goes nanu, nanu all day long and twice on Sunday. Every day that ends in Y for all creation. One ain't touched down and come out and said nanu, nanu to any of us. That should tell you something. But there was one who came from somewhere. To this day we can't even understand or explain. That's a mystery in itself. You ask me why I'm mad. I'm not mad. I'm upset at the fact that social media has lied to everyone so much. They believe the garbage. They're still on their phones. They're still hackering away at something and they don't even know what it is. Because they don't want to stop to think of what's coming. Well, when it comes, it's going to get me and everybody else I love. And, oh, well, who cares? I don't care. I want to have my sex change because I don't like who I come from. I don't agree with what they think about my genitals. I just want to be somebody else. I don't love people. I want to have abortions because I don't love my race anymore. I want to have abortions because, guess what? Somebody told me I could. But then again, once they have an abortion and they split their body as an abortionist for the rest of their life, they're tormented. Every one of them. They get on there and act like they're not. But then at home, they go and cry at the demons still crying and the babies they threw away because somebody told them it was okay. Mother Earth ain't putting up with it much longer, is she, people? That preacher come out and said that, oh my God. Okay. You're going to find out. Because all she's got to do, and when God stamps his fingers, woodworm comes, and there's nothing to stop it. This time the Bible says it does not stop. Did you ever stop to think about it? This time it shall not stop. What can we do? 3 woes is past. What can we do? Now, there's a lot of people today who's religious going to hear this. And they're going to say, I don't believe anything you're saying because I just don't believe in Christianity. So you're a liar, prophet. Or, my God don't say that. Okay, well, let me take you through a few religious Bibles I've been through. I told you I'm a studier. I know them all. I studied for many years. So are you ready? Every one of them tell of the same caliphate at the same time. You see, God didn't separate the books. We did. If you want a God who is hateful and disrespectful, it's still the same system. Sorry. If you want a God who loves you and you want to follow him and his doctrines, guess what? It's still the same system. We have songs celebrating God, and then we have songs celebrating a non-God. But it's still the same system. They did not divert from each other. See, that's the beautiful part about holy books, because there's more than one just Holy Bible. There's many different forms of it. There's many different fashions. There's a lot of religious people out here. Oh God, oh God, oh God. And most time even people who ain't religious say God. Look at Paul, who didn't even believe really in God. He was devoted to the cause in the Bible. He was devoted to the cause. He called himself devoted to God, but when God showed up, he knew who God was. Have you ever been visited by God? Because if you have, you know, and you can't deny who he is. When he says you will go do these things, you go do them, whether anybody likes it or not. You ask me why I'm on here now. He said go do these things, and I did. Does it bother me? No. Death does not scare me. Have you noticed yet? Hurt me does not scare me. Has that not bothered you yet? I'm a total different breed of a different human being, and everybody knows that. Have you noticed yet? When you curse me, as soon as the words come out of your mouth, even when you didn't know I was a prophet, something hit. That was God. Oh, I know you now. I know what you said. I know what you did. You could walk away. You could talk that talk. You could do as you please. But soon as you stop thinking is the moment catastrophe hits in your life. Go ahead. Put me down. It makes me want to cry. Because I tell people, don't do it. Just don't, please. I want to be your friend. I want to be your family. I want to be somebody who is strong in life. I've told people, and they call me crazy. And as soon as they get through calling me crazy, they end up getting hurt. That's biblical. That's biblical. Because of that connection he has. If you hurt the connection, you're asking for caliphate. So what's happening to the earth? The same connection. Your hemisphere, your egg, Mother Earth. You're trying to change her, but she bore you for him. So you keep trying to change it. Oh, humans, you keep pushing the envelope. You're going to get what you want, but it ain't what you want. How many times you heard that one? Every time you turn the page. It doesn't matter if you read my book or somebody else's. I don't care what story you follow. Every time you turn that page, what's right around the corner? You're looking for it. You're acting for it. What drove me to this conversation today? To come on this show and preach this message. I'm going to tell you what did. The endless pursuit of proving that somebody can make it in a system that's rigged. To push through where nobody else could. To get in your mind when nobody else could. Ain't that right? To be there. To be the person I said I am. And do the things I've done because the Lord said I could. And I did. I don't know how many people tell me about Spookmasters, how it scares them to even think of what I'm doing, to go places that would mess you up. But you see, I'm not that person. I got a little something more than most people do, and they know that when they meet me. And I don't mind telling you what that is. That's a power given to me by Him to keep me safe in the time of total destruction, so I can finish the work He sent me to do. You see, everybody's worried about what I'm after or what I'm trying to obtain. I've already done it. I told you that from the beginning. I've already done that. Now I'm just sitting back. People will tell you I chased them. I didn't chase anybody. People tell you I wrote them books. Okay, I wrote everybody a book. I said I love you too, all of you. There's nobody exempt. So try me. Go ahead. I ain't mad at you. You want to really pick yourself out as, oh, I'm that important person in his life, or somebody else is, or whatever. I have never been nothing but nice, calm, sweet, and have made no attempts on anyone. But you can go say I have. And that's fine. But you see, your life is total shambles at that point. Until you stop putting this prophet down and coming after him is when your life will straighten up. Then you can walk hand in hand with God. Until then, you're just pushing up against a mule that's not going to move. You don't have to like me, but most people do because they know. Usually I'm the guy, if when they're around me, they get blessed. And I appreciate that. Those who do hang around me know me. They know there's something about it. But those who are, I'm gonna give you an example. There's a story I come across, and it's a very true story. I want you to hear this story because you need to hear it. A man sent me a letter in the mail. And he said, Prophet, somebody robbed a lot of people. And he put it in my house. And I was so mad of what he'd done that I pushed him with a baby in his arms. And I told him, get out. He went and cursed. The guy told me. He went and cursed him. For the rest of his life, he tried cursing him. But every time he did, it backfired. Every time. Should I have been mad enough to do that? It hurt his conscience. But let me tell you what this prophet tells you. In the old times, they would have hung him. Because he stole from all the people, not just one, not just two. He just did. What does the book tell you about the person who took the golden image and stuck it and hid it from the other people? And God knew it. Go read your stories. You see, the Bible isn't just stories. It's scenarios, God's judgments. So while you're robbing me of my Bloodstone Megaverse, you remember this. You're going to pay one way or the other. That's not for me. Did you hear a word I just said? With my mouth shut, you heard every word. That's not from me. That's coming from somewhere else. So, I'm going to move on from this subject. And I pray I don't have to deal with people trying to threaten me and my family ever again. Because it's sevenfold back to you forever. We are respectful. We take care of people. We care. And there are people out there in this world who doesn't. They have taken and taken and taken. And just keep taking. But you remember, every time you took a penny from this prophet, every time you have turned his words inside out for your own pleasure. It's like somebody said, because they know I carry knives, they went and told people I cut tires on their vehicles. Really?
Most of the people in town carry knives. If you don't have a knife, something's wrong with you.
I have somebody who said I come after them with a knife. I did not. They come after me. And I pulled my knives. You darn right I did. And you better believe I'd have put it through you. But I did not try to attack you. And you know this. I come to talk to you about your mouth. And you threaten a preacher. You threaten a prophet. And then you got God's attention. And now where are you at? Tell me where you're at. You could barely find a ditch to live in because you kept coming after this prophet. Didn't you? You're going into a ditch. Biblical. You end up being a dog. Ask Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar. What happens? You say it's not biblical. You say it's not possible for a human to turn into a dog. Oh yeah? Where do you think we come from? Animals. We still have connection to earth. Everything comes from earth. It's still connected. Still connected. I really believe a human being, under the right circumstances, can turn into a dog. It's been proven, by the way. There's actual science behind the genetic makeup to say it is very possible that you can get a dog's disease like that. So keep pushing and see what happens next. That's so how do I go on about this sermon, about this message I just preached? The blood. The blood did it. You bleed the blood. I've heard people tell me they're this religion and that religion. I believe, and they walk off and they go on and then they start cursing this preacher, this pastor, this person, this prophet. And the next thing I know, boom, you could have got lightning to fall out of the sky on top of their head. Oh my God. But they'll run from a lightning bolt that strikes when I stand right there. That lightning bolt wasn't going to hit me. But they're scared to death. Oh my God. I'm the guy who stands in the middle of the storm and says, come on, bring it on, big boy. What you got? I ain't scared. I got a master. Is my king and God. And you think I'm afraid of you? That's a joke. That's what I said. Humans think there's something they're not. And you got a God who takes and pours it in a human like me. You can be mad at me all you want. You ain't got to like me. You probably won't. Then again, you might love me. Because I would. It's up to you. I'm not crazy. I just don't care. I went and I talked to some preachers and said, do you know what we're dealing with? They didn't care. It was all about the business, baby. Business. You're messing with my business. That's what they all said to me. You're messing with my business. I could care less about the people. Whoa, shocker. No, because Jesus said that's what would happen. Peter and Paul was looking for the buildings where they're going to raise their next big church when they're walking with Jesus. Peter and Paul had it all figured out. Well, I say Paul was not walking with. Let's rephrase that before I get the wrong thing here. There was no Peter and Paul. There was pretty much Peter, the 12 disciples. They all asked Jesus, what about these beautiful buildings? These are now ours. Jesus said, don't look at the buildings. They'll do nothing for you. There's a reason for that. We kind of turn around and say the numbers so we can play the games they're playing. That's why I got in here and found all the numbers. I've got all the evidence. I've got the rewards. I've got all this. But let me say this. I'm not their favorite pick. They'd rather see me off here right now. So would you, right? Because this is not an impressive message for anybody who knows me. Go get your numbers. Go get your numbers. They don't add up. That's when it all becomes business, baby. You want to hear somebody talk in tongues? See how I've sent up and down today? You want to hear it? Do you even know what it says when you're done? I know. Very fluently. I don't need a translator. All I need is God, because He created every sound possible. He tells you what He wants you. You heard. You heard. Thank you. So what does that mean for mankind? What did I see? What did God show me? I ain't going to tell you. No. Sorry. I'm going to tell you because you want me to. I ain't going to do it. I'm going to do it like He tells me to. I move when He tells me to move. I step away when He tells me to step away. When He says step forward, I step forward. I don't want to scare people. It sounds very spooky. I've lived with it my whole life. So it's not spooky to me. So, like I said, when it comes to Bloodstone Megaverse, He's already promised me the book will be in the next civilization. That's the way it works. Because I have prayed for this civilization not to be lost this time. How many others have actually prayed that prayer? Whoa, I just blew everybody out of the water. Ain't nobody prayed that prayer before. Whoa! How are we going to save this civilization? All we got is computers now. They're our best friends. My cell phone is my holy Bible, just like yours now. They took them all out of our hands. Now I got the Bible sitting here. I can go through it if you want me to. But that's what I'm talking about. Husband and wives are not husband and wives no more. They got a computer for their love.
I could hear people saying, "Oh, please don't read off a paper."
Fornication is watching your TV. Yeah, you're in love with something else. It has nothing to do with church anymore. Fornication is right here now. Every time you pick up your phone, you're fornicating. against everything you're doing. It's catastrophic fate. It's every time you walk inside a pothole because you're blinded by everything else. Then, I mean, this ain't a popular message now. Are we going to save ourselves as the next human race? No. No, I
Right
don't
after
see it.
this next selfie.
They want to be blinded. They want to be discouraged and distracted. They want to know who their next sex partner is going to be. They're going to want to know who their doctor is going to be cutting their pecker off and turn it into a twat. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for the next drag queen to fulfill the shoes of every man alive, which men really have no fascination over it. If you do, something is messed up because guess what? You wasn't born that way. Like I said about my bearded dragon, we just found out he's a male. We treat him like a male now. He actually runs around his cage like a male. There was a time when he wasn't old enough. It wasn't developed yet. So he done some of the female things. So we kept thinking maybe she's a female. But then he got older. He got out there. Wow. Now he's doing the male things like he's supposed to. And that's what I'm telling everyone about the earth we live on. We've seen it. We know it. We're born with it spiritually. You keep messing up the temples of our Mother Earth. What's she going to do with those temples? So go ahead. I can't stop you. I ain't going to. I ain't even going to freaking bother.
Throw you in the ocean. Let you sleep with the fishes.
Let you have your fun with it. Go on. Because all you're doing is laughing because you know you're destroying everyone and everything else you love. You're breaking their hearts. You're tearing them to pieces. And you're laughing about it. Ain't that fun? Oh, you're going to get yours back. Those who done unto me get a sevenfold back. So whatever you've done against me, you already know. You were already warned before we got there. Those who said that I do witchcraft, you're right. I am a master warlock. Also at chess. Also at the Bibles. Been there, done that. Does it scare me to say it? It didn't bother me the first time I told you, honey. I told you. Do never come against the teacher. And you did. For your own selfish gains, you lose everything. Sevenfold, you'll never get nothing back. You'll never be worth nothing. Because you pushed where you ought not pushed. You hurt where you ought not hurt. And you deliberately destroyed deliciously against God's people. You see, Moses and all the other prophets, they know one thing most people don't. They know the magic. It's instilled in them. So you wonder who's messed up in this world. I haven't had a problem yet. As crazy as that sounds, it's normal to me. When I can go to places so creepy, have demons crawling around on it, poltergeists everywhere you go. And when I throw these hands up, everything goes completely calm. Because I care. I'm not going in to make a show out of it. I'm trying to teach the prophets how to do it. Because they've lost it. All they can think about now. They've got us in such a rush, people. Just over and over and over again. Till we can't breathe. I can barely make it on my paycheck, so I'm going to hit that next one. I can't even get a penny. The illegals are going back to another country, back to their own country, because there's nothing left. This is not a popular message. They want you to go back to your country. Just don't give them nothing. Don't give nobody nothing to leave. It's a smart play, really, isn't it? Notice you ain't heard nothing about that anymore. They're letting them in by truckloads. They're paying in the truckloads to get them back out. So you really ain't got that to worry about. But they've choked your rights away. You don't have freedom of speech. Period. You have a right to carry a gun as long as they say so. You think you're holding on to your guns because why? They're allowing you the right.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong. They're more than welcome to come in your house and take whatever they feel like right now.
Side note.
Okay.
That as many people that have guns over here, pretty much most of the United States citizens have weapons. That is the only thing that stops all the other countries from invading.
Well, people want to know why I don't carry a gun. I don't have to. I don't. I don't have to. God says, "No, not fear." He's got that. Because I'm the guy who prays. If I am really a prophet of yours, Lord, you'll be on my back the moment someone tries to do something to me. You will protect me with everything you got. You know what God says? Yes, amen. He will draw them to their knees and their arms right before my feet and call me his before their eyes, before their face. Because they played the games they should not have played, knowing they shouldn't have done it to me. Enjoy it, because you deserve it. Whatever you do unto God's holy prophets, there's so many coming too. I'm telling you now, there's more. I'm not the only one. There is so many out there waiting to open their mouth. They're just waiting for the cue. I told you, I was up to a different story than what you thought. I told you I was up to something you couldn't see coming. The call of the prophets. Where are you? Why are you still hiding? Why are you not speaking? Why aren't you standing up? Because you're afraid? The world's afraid of you? Or are you afraid of the world? A true prophet will never kill. He'll never devour. He'll never destroy. Anything less. Those three things is what Jesus called the devil, the devourer. If you're out to harm, to kill, to steal, to make hurt, you're the devil. Plain and simple. Because all you care about is death. I've never been that way. I've always looked for life in the death. Even when I was fighting my infections and stuff, God still pulled me through. Doing this, come on, one more day. Every time I screamed and yelled at him, come on, this is how he was. This is how he is. This is how he always be. Come on. Old great red dragon is God's pet. Satan, Christ, is God's pet. You better realize what I'm telling you. Satan done nothing. God called Satan every time. Think about it. Go back and read your Bible. See, a lot of people don't realize that. They'll tell you Satan showed up. But even Jesus said something about calling the one who could help him. God called to Satan and says, have you seeked Job? God called Satan to him. As creepy as that is, they're the only two been playing this master game to begin with. Haven't they? Do you feel like a fool in the middle of the world when the Bible strictly puts it there? Notice what God and all of them say. He said, they know us. Who am I to disagree? When God calls my name Satan Christ, my whole soul answers. Should that scare me? Everybody run from me? I haven't hurt nobody. I haven't touched no one. Why should that name alone scare you? It's done nothing to you. But people use it. Have you ever noticed people use it for their own good? Let me tell you a little story. One like you've never heard. But you've heard it several times. Coming Easter is the time of rebirth. Not about a bouncing rabbit, but that's okay. I like my eggs too. I enjoy my little bunny rabbits too. So I love Easter too. But Easter is about what thousands of people have been through, called a crucifixion. But there was one. Now you've never heard this story like this, so you better be listening very carefully so you can argue with me later when you see me. Because you won't when I get done. Most everybody who ever been crucified, they pretty much put on a cross. Because it was already excruciating death. You were taken into exile. They would roam and they went chasing. Okay. All your Romans, if you go look at study the history, you became exiled when you were on a crucifix. That's how they done it. It comes from another time. It was not a Roman practice. It was adapted to it. And they used it as part of their torturing systems. So when they take Jesus in for trial, notice they beat him. That was out of Roman jurisdiction. So the Jews, the Israel, according to the stories, beat him. Now that's the first death. The second death did not hurt him. He was already in agony. He couldn't feel it. But the Romans called it very humiliation. What they would do was, they would go into a person's house and home and take every item found until they knew you were so exiled, your name wasn't even allowed to be said. Now do you see why the Romans chased those who believed in Jesus Christ in those times? The mere mention, in fact, of his name was exiled. He was not supposed to exist. They take you, notice there's no history on all the ones that's been crucified because all the items, they go in their house and take them. Your mamas, your daddies wasn't allowed to say your name when you were caught.
No, they would, everything that was
Everything related.
They would kill your families.
Well, if they had to. But they didn't. They would just take the one who done the crime.
Now, this is what I heard.
Yeah. Now, this is what the documentation and stuff I've read is. Is it out there? It should be. I found it on the internet. I hope you still can if you really need to know it.
Yeah, they don't
Technically, Jesus wasn't supposed to be beat, but he got beat.
They don't like
He
people
went.
knowing the truth these days.
Jesus went and took the beating. But his bones were not broken. You see, in a beating, the bones, they beat you until the bones were broken. That's why they kept beating. Everybody thinks it was the hatred. No. It was to try to break the bones. And the guy stopped him because he knew. The guy stopped him because he knew he still had to go to this crucifix. What does that got to do with Easter? What does that got to do with Easter, you wonder? Why do I find that so beautiful? Why do I find it for this time right now? You've never heard it like that before. Because Jesus Christ technically should have never happened. Because they wouldn't listen. They wanted to beat somebody for their anger, their issues. somebody to pay. So I get cursed for smoking a cigarette on my altar. This is my shrine. This is my holy ground. This is my anointing. And come this Easter, I'm going to enjoy my holy ground and my sanctuary and my peace. You see, I don't carry spirits back with me. They don't bother me. Sorry. Easter coming up. And right here we are on the story, the precipice, they call it, of what's coming next. Why is this story so important to tell? You see, the crucifix was designed for two reasons. The first one was that all the gods banded together. You see, Romans believed in all the gods of Greeks and all that. There was all kinds of them back then. It just wasn't one. So they didn't believe Jesus when he come out. We have so many today. They didn't see no miracle in it. There was nothing left for them to see. They've seen it all, from magicians to... But Jesus kept pulling off tricks no one else can explain or do. Excuse me for that. He'd disappear, he'd come back. He'd go up on a mountain, he'd come back. He'd get on a boat and he'd come back. Just all the time he did this. I mean, you go read your Bible, yeah. If you follow the life of Jesus Christ. Not only did I used to be the type of person, I like Jesus just because he was crazy. He had a story to tell. Whether you believed in him or not. Whether you believe he's God or Son, however. Most religions has Jesus implements in it. And that's cool, that's great. That word is stuck with you for eternity. You're not getting rid of it because you feel like it. Now, how many times they try to throw the Bible away? But they can't, because now we find out the cities are in it. They start digging them up everywhere. Is that some coincidence or what? Now you can't get rid of the book. There's too many cities in it. Pretty neat. Now, let's go on with a little bit more. So Jesus doing all these miracles and stuff, only gods can do. So they had to have the perfect plan, because you got all these priests in the temples of God. They followed Abraham. They followed Moses. They followed these people. We are the fathers of those fathers, and we know who God is, and you're not him, Jesus, because God was supposed to come back and wipe the earth away. Jesus wasn't doing that. He came healing. He came preaching. He came teaching, like all the rest of the Majestics, how to stop something from coming. He did it 2,000 years ago. He made a point to everyone. A few days from now, I'll return. A lot of people thought that was funny. It's never been done before. Not even from God. So, here we go. Are you ready to hear a story? So what was the crucifixion about? When you look up and you read certain documentations, it will lead you to believe. They had their high above gods, which we pretty much know is true. If you go through mythology, you have the top ones. Then you have the underworld gods, from Ares to just on and on, Hades and all of them. Their priests would say, we don't want Jesus, on the high ups. The bottom one said, we don't want him either. So what do we do with him? We can't bury him in the ground, and we can't put him in the sky. So what did they do? The crucifix was considered purgatory. Are you following along now? That's how they ruled them. Exiles. Notice how certain talks about how God didn't want them. So they would put them in the middle. Exiled between gods. That's why Jesus even screams on the cross. Thy Father has forsaken thee. And he's got his arms out. God didn't forsake him. God didn't forsake him one bit. Because God never left him. Everybody was expecting God to leave, to come out of that sky and tear it all to pieces, throw it all away. When the earthquake hit, believe it, I believe there was so many of them who said, finally we did it, God is finally here. He's going to finally destroy his creation once and for all. That is a Satan spirit. That is a Lucifer ideologue. You cannot destroy what God created. You think you can. You might think outside that box for a second. You really got some type of power on him to destroy it, but you can't. He will make a new, is what he told us all. What does that imply? A New Jerusalem? Notice how the Bible in Revelation talks. A New Jerusalem. A temple. A temple built on top of what? Civilization between the rivers. On the pillars. The lost civilization. Showing us where everything's at. Bloodstone Megaverse will be that connection point. So, whoever gets my book, and the day comes that you have to get in that tunnel, whether your family can go or not, I ask you to take a copy of my book and put in there with you until the storm's over, because you won't remember technology when you're done. More than likely, a generation will pass, at least. A generation will go without remembering. The reset of the clock. The fasting periods. Until God is for sure and certain that he knows so well that he has changed it perfectly back to the way he intended it to be. You're out. You're out. Bloodstone Megaverse is to remind you of where our morals are in this world. The battle is not between you and Satan. It's between you and God. Because you want to battle God. You use Satan and you use Lucifer to further your agenda. A dragon doesn't want to be in a cage no more than you do. A spirit does not want to be in a cage no more than you do. Why do you keep pushing them in it? Why do you keep saying that? The Bible does not say he destroys anything. Why would he destroy what he created? He's not. He just has his way, and he's showing everybody how he cleans the earth, how he makes her happy. And you ain't got to listen to my story to understand this. God's going to do whatever makes Mother Earth happy, because she's going to do what it takes to make him happy. That's not far-fetched as you think. This is the message the preachers were supposed to be preaching when Jesus said, I sent them all out to preach this message. No, they went on about building their buildings. They went on thinking they were saving people. They went on really believing in this afterlife so strongly for eternity. They never stopped to think where heaven was. Let me tell you what the disciples realized. The kingdom of heaven is right here. The kingdom of heaven is right before your eyes, before your soul. Every step you take, every move you make, every time you steal something, you stole from yourself. Every time you treated somebody bad, you treated it to yourself. Every time you done something wrong, you actually did it to yourself. It's not a popular message, I promise you. There's nobody wants to sit around and listen to that. But you heard it. There it is. I'm not going to sit here and whitewash and keep whitewashing the truth. I got in social media to learn it. But there's no system left. You see, there was a time, yes. There was a time you would make $1 or some financial blessings. But now they've got a limit on everything. You could get all the social medias you want together, and you can't hardly even scratch a chicken's ass with it. But they'll tell you can, so they can watch what you're doing, see where you're at, and know every detail of your life and what you're doing.
Tell you a good one.
What's that name? Tell me one. Hey,
You
man,
remember-
everybody. I'm gonna get off this.
You
kid.
remember those websites, apps on the phone that you can use to play with the stocks?
Yeah,
That,
you can't even do stocks anymore. Go ahead.
Now hold on. Okay, used to be only rich people could play with the stocks,
Yeah.
or someone who was well off.
Can I get some coffee? Somebody give me some coffee. Whatever.
Just hold on a second.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Well, they had that app called Robinhood,
Yes.
I think it was,
Yes.
and
Thank you.
I
You gotta
can't,
give
I
us some
can't
coffee.
remember.
Appreciate it. She does so much for us here.
I can't remember if it was Robinhood or another one. They're all the same thing. So average people like us can play the stocks.
Yes.
A lot of people started getting really rich off of GameStop stocks.
That's right.
And then those apps that are supposed to allow us to do that cut it off.
Cut you right off. I
When
mean,
so
that's
many
true.
when so many people got so much money, they just put a stop to it. They didn't allow it to happen anymore. They quit GameStop stocks from moving.
It's not who's in the White House, people.
Because
White House or pawns.
they don't want us being rich.
Yeah.
They want us to stay in the ditch.
They want you at the ditch. They don't want you out. They don't want you on top. They don't want you to be part of the good crowd. They want you poor, broke, lonely, and destitute. Because as long as you're that way, you're only looking at one direction. What tattoo do I get next? What piercing do I get next? Oh, I got freedom. You don't have freedom. We all should be financially blessed. There's so much riches in our country. There's not a reason one person should have to go hungry, broke, or poor. Because humans are so greedy, they can't even get past themselves. They don't even bother anymore. There was a time they bothered, but that time is no longer. And so many people I pray for, that I know, who I talk to, who I see on a daily basis, since I deal in retail, I feel for them because I see it. I hear it all the time. Everything's went out of the roof, but nobody's making money. They can't afford it no more. Now, move on to something a little bit different. I'm ready to get out of this and move on. Check this pizza out. Check it out. That's a pizza.
Breakfast
That's a
pizza,
breakfast pizza.
Oh, okay.
sausage,
Good stuff.
eggs, and bacon, and cheese.
I'm ready to
gravy.
eat. I'm ready to eat. I mean, you know,
Well, you've been on here for
how long have I been?
an hour and 45 minutes.
Hour and 45 minutes. For all those who are going to be watching this, staying with me, going, "Oh my God, he's nuts and he's lost his freaking mind." Thank
Now, YouTube is not that long because it got started a little bit late.
you. I've done a good job. Thank you all. Thank you. Ain't it beautiful? Ain't it beautiful? So, like I said, I'm not mad and upset. I guess I'll stay poor.
It's
But I've
only
talked about
It's about 10 to 11 minutes behind.
I've talked about the things I want to do, and it's funny to everyone. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. But I promise you, if I do get financially blessed, I will make better shows. I'm going to have a TV. I'll just keep working on it. My own TV channel, live if it must be, 24/7 until I've got it right. Radio stations, music stations, all of them. sermon. Yeah, that too. Because really, the preachers don't even know what a sermon is anymore. They're so used to preaching the same thing, that's all they can preach. It's the same sermon. You heard it last Sunday or a couple weeks earlier. It's the same one. Now they try to change it around a little bit, but they will not preach what I just preached because they know it will interfere with the business, baby. Sorry to break your hearts, but that's the truth. The truth. That's simple. That's it. Leave it there. You don't have to like me. The truth interferes with social media right now. The business. We don't want you in it. We don't want you near it. You're not their little cutie pie. They're not the next. I'm not the next big sunshine. Oh, yeah, glory, glory, glory. I'm telling you now. Until this world is changed, you're going to find some happy times in it. You're going to find some. But every day, you're going to be looking for woodworm. Because the world is too broke. It's broke. It's too poor. Too many people yelling and screaming to God, God, help me. He's sick of it, tired of it. Because he delivered the people already. So many times. And they go right back to doing it again. What's next? What's next? I'll tell you a good one you've never heard before. You can't make a bomb big enough out of this planet to even scratch it. I hate to break it to you. This planet was not designed to destroy itself or allow its creation to. God chooses that. How come we've been using oil for so many years that we haven't even touched the oil pits yet? But yet we're making electric cars that cost so much money you can't afford it. And they're going to take your oil away from you. They're going to take your gas from you. And you're stupid enough to let them. You're stupid enough to let them. Go ahead. Go ahead. Somebody needs to be standing up with this crap. I've said it, I've preached it, but nobody gets behind this preacher. Nobody, because it's not their message. What are you going to do? You can't afford the electric now. How are you going to get a car? They're going to give it to you? So I guess you're going to pick everybody in this area gets the same color car, except for the bad guy. Ain't that movie shit? The bad guy. He's the one who's got the different clothes. He's the one who got the different car.
Oh yeah,
He's the bad guy.
That old movie Cat in the Hat with
That's the
funny dude in it.
and everybody loved it. They got it like him.
Everybody had the Ford Escort, I think it was. And
Thank
the
you.
only one that had a different car was a Thunderbird. And he was a total jerk. He was so evil. Just because he was different.
Because he was different. Well, you go get a piercing in your lip. You get one on your eyebrow. You get it between your legs. That don't make you different. Everybody else has got one too. Stupid. I mean, you want one, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. The stupidity is, you're letting them take your car for an electric car you can't afford. That's the part you're not looking at. Nobody's standing up. Nobody cares. The earth could care less how much oil you use. You should just keep remaking it. What did I say? The oil is redefined back in the ground. It makes it naturally. You could never run out. But because, let me tell you, it's like this. And most people know it in the back of their head. If I went to work making a law every day, for the last 100 years, I need to make new laws on top of old laws, which are on top of other old laws. We've heard that story a million times. So now they're going into this new thing. It's not a new thing. They had electric cars in the 1980s. Did I just freak you out or what?
What, 1980?
Was it 1980s? 1800. What was it, 1900?
Late 1800s to early 1900s.
Late 1800s.
I probably got a
Forgive me,
picture.
I'm doing a revise.
I probably still got a picture.
They actually had electric cars in the late 1800s to the early 1900s. And you know what the government did? They banned them because they were against the oil. No, Mother Earth can keep making oil. She's not going to run out. We, the people, those that be in power, think it hasn't run out in all the civilizations. So what would make you think it'd run out now? It's not there. The oil's still in the ground. If you look at the
Okay,
earth,
here you
it
go.
would be like the blood system. It would be like the antifreeze to the earth. We're
Here you
not
go.
even touching it. What's that? Show me. Show me. Okay, here it is. You need proof. There was an electric car in the 1800s.
That is 1909.
1909. So don't let your government keep
Let
pulling
me,
you. They
let me
were able
read
to do
it.
this
Let me read it.
a long time ago.
All right. I'm going to start with the
Without
new one.
lithium batteries.
I'm going to start with the new one.
Go ahead.
Tesla's 2019, 408 miles on one charge. Now, I haven't heard about that kind of mileage. I've always heard about 350.
That's what they.
Now, here goes Babcock Runabout Electric 1909, 1,244 miles on one charge.
And we think we're doing something. You're being fooled. That's what I'm talking about. Ancient apocalypse right now. I watch the stuff with Graham Hancock. I really like the stuff he does. He really fighting the crowd. There's nobody backing him. I'm backing him. I get on there and I back his work because he knows something is coming. He knows.
Now I can hear
They had
some.
electric cars back in the 1800s.
I can hear some people talk about this. Oh, but I bet that car wasn't as fast as these ones nowadays.
How fast did it go?
I don't know. A car in that time, it probably topped out about 35, 40 miles an hour.
Probably, because I mean,
But you're getting 1,200 miles off of a single charge. Whoop-de-doo if it can only go 40. If you got a weekend, let's go to Louisville. You know what I mean? I don't got to charge this thing until next weekend.
but yeah, you're going to buy a $20,000 lithium battery shoving these cars every 3 to 4 years. So you'll never get rid of the car at that point. They might have trade-ins for the
Oh,
same
no, they-
color.
It's actually just as expensive to replace the battery as it is to buy a whole new car. So you're replacing the car every time the battery goes down.
Let me tell you something else you haven't heard yet. But in the future, it will. As long as this earth keeps going, it will go this way. Do not think it won't. It's just right around the corner. What is it? I'm gonna go take me a break. About 15-minute break. You don't want to miss what I'm fixing to tell you next. Go tell your friends. Get them on here. Tell everybody. Say, listen to the crazy stuff he's fixing to tell you is coming to pass. Before a few years are up. I'd say within 5 years, it's cadaver in. 5 years. I'll be back in a minute. 15 minutes. Love you all.